3, 2, 1.
Hey everyone, Phil from 3DP UK Tech Channel. Today's quick video is on the Creality Halot Mage Pro. This was kindly sent over from Creality for me to review today and to bring to the community what my thoughts are on this. This is the 8K version, so this comes with the inbuilt air filter. It also comes in with the auto resin feed, so it'd be interesting to see how that actually works out. So yeah, this is the Creality Mage Pro. We'll do a quick unboxing and we'll go into the setup and we'll do a couple of prints that are already on the USB card that should be with it. They also kindly sent me a kilo of their fast resin, so it'll be interesting to see how this one is on that. So let's stop at that and get over to the unboxing and build. So carry on watching, and before we do that, a quick word from our sponsor. PCBWay are a PC board manufacturer, but not only PCBs, they do PCB prototyping, PCB assembly, FPC and rigid flex, advanced PCBs, and even CNC and 3D printing. The site's very easy to use. It also has bioprotection, worldwide delivery, and all sorts of other great additions. As you can see, they have competitions and all sorts of different projects that you can carry out. So check out PCBWay.com, which is today's video sponsor. PCBWay.com. And back over to the unboxing of the Creality Mage Pro. So when you receive the box, it will look like it's upside down and there's like a funny lid at the bottom. You've got these little pull tabs. All you do is you pinch these and these pop out, so like so. It's very easy to do. One on either side. Just pull those out and there you go. So I'm going to skip through this particular part, so we don't really need to see the unboxing. It's very well packaged, I'm sure. We'll go straight into like the initial setup. I just think it's better to get to that stage. So let's go to that bit. So I've taken it out of the box. First thing you'll see in the box is you get a spare FEP sheet, which is really good. I like that. So that would be good for the future if I need to replace that. And as you can see, now I've undone the actual packaging, I've taken off the front cover that was protecting the UV cover. I really love this lifting lid technique. The whole pulling off the lid and trying to find somewhere was always really frustrating. So this lid here means you can almost have it in a place where, as long as it's as high as this, you could almost stop it here and have it in like a shelf. So it's so much easier than having to lift the lid fully off. So I really like that. The build plate, taking that apart now, quick release. You have this beautiful laser etched build plate, so that should help with the removal of prints and keeping it stuck to it when it's printing. So let's put that back in place. You have the usual equipment that you get there, so the instructions. So we'll have a quick look at that. So in here you have the glossy instructions manual, which I always like. They're always pretty good with that. After sales card, if you choose to use that. I tend to use the community, so it's got multiple languages. Gives me a step-by-step guide, which we're going to use today. And then literally it's only 1 or 2 pages, and then it goes into the other languages. So it should be pretty easy and self-explanatory setup. So we'll use that. What else do we have? A nice metal scraper, a USB and after sales card, and a G2 box scratch cards of some sort. So I'm guessing that might be 12 months access to G2 box. So that I'm liking that. That's pretty cool. Be interesting to see what's on the memory card. Now this is actually something new. I've not seen this in some of the other unboxings of the Pro, so I don't know whether they've added this or it was just left out of their videos. This actually goes over the resin bottle, so you could put your in feed into that so it doesn't just fall out onto the floor. We've got our filters for the resin afterwards. We have some metal grease, so to grease the rods. This is dual linear, so and then we've got the Z rod. We have some Allen keys that we're going to use, and plastic scraper, and what else do we have? Plastic cap of some sort. I'm not quite sure what that's for. It will tell me in the instructions, I'm sure. And then last of all, just a qualified certificate to say that they've checked it and verified it at Creality. So yeah, that's all of the parts. You also notice we have a hose. Now that's for the air filter on this right hand side. It's a carbon filter, so this should help if you're printing indoors, which I wouldn't recommend anyway. I use it in my printing studio outside, so this can just literally, I think it's about a meter or two. It just folds out, as you can see. It 6 foot, I think it goes to, and this just pops onto the back of the printer. So we'll have a quick look at that a bit later. So we'll take out some of the foam. Like I said, I did remove some of this prior to this, so it wasn't quite like as it seems here. So moving on, we have the build plate. So once again, you just unscrew it at the point. So what I've heard online and on some previous videos of this, it can be quite difficult. So when you remove this, the resin feed here pops up, and then when you put it back in, it should engage and push back down. Now, from what I've seen, it can be quite difficult to actually put that back in place. So I'll have a look at that in a bit more detail. This is the build plate, so obviously there's some markings here to say remove this before printing, so we'll make sure we do that. So probably best to do that now. Take that away. So let's move that to one side. But yeah, I do like the look of it so far. Like I say, this is the 8K screen, so it doesn't look like there's any screen protectors on there that I can see. It possibly is, but like I say, the information will give us a bit more detail. So what we're going to do now we've got everything unpacked, we're going to go through the step-by-step guide that's been given to us, and we'll see where we are. So let's go to that. Okay, so we've connected up the power, so we're going to flick the switch on. Round the back, so you've got two USB ports at the front, so one for your USB stick if you're using that and you don't use the Creality Cloud, and the other one can be used for a time-lapse camera. You'll see the Creality logo pop up, so it's just booting up. And then we've got like a startup procedure, which is just asking me what language I am, so we're going to be using English today, of course. So obviously it's asking me to choose my language, so we've chosen English, so we click on that and it'll give you all the different languages. So like I say, we've chosen that. The next one is are you international or Chinese, or we're at international, and then click next. It's asking me if I want to do my Wi-Fi, but we're not going to do that, so we're going to click on home page. And then it's asking me on the instructions now to level the platform. Now this is slightly weird, which is the bit that a lot of people have talked about. In your FET page, here is the leveling platform. Not sure why they didn't have it separate. So I now have to open this to be able to actually get that. So let's just open that. And as I said, inside the packaging you have your bed level and also your spare FEP. Now, like I say, I'm not sure why they didn't have this out separately, because we really want to protect these FEP sheets until we're needed. So to actually take them out of this packaging seems a bit weird. Not sure why they did that, but nonetheless, a free FEP is always good. So like I say, we're going to put this here, like so, over the screen. So it's asking me to go to settings, and then once we're at settings, print settings, and then we're going to move the Z, and then it's asking me to do leveling. So before we do that, it's probably best to actually undo the four bolts on the build plate, so that actually helps with the leveling. So I'm not sure why it hasn't told me to do that first. So we'll just undo these quickly. you got 4 altogether. And that should allow for the build plate to move up freely. You want to make sure that they're all loose and there's no snags, because obviously if you lower that, it hits the screen, it could potentially damage the screen. So we're all loose, which is good. So the next step is to make sure the calibration card is attached evenly, which it is. And then we're going to go, like I say, we'll go back to settings on there. So we're going to go to leveling. So let's go back to 0 first. So it's set just the Z-axis movement, and then we're going to go to level. So it's quite fast as well, if you've noticed. On some of the printers it could take quite a while, and you see it's hit down to the bottom, so we're happy with that. So make sure the calibration card is attached evenly and tighten the 4 screws whilst it's in place, so on the plate. So you want to make sure that the build plate is even, which it is, and then we're going to tighten up these 4 here, like so. There we go. There we go. Okay, so now that it's tightened up in place, the printing platform has been leveled after production. If you need to level it due to transportation or other reasons, you can refer to this step. So it's saying that it should come auto leveled, but to be honest with you, I think anything that when you're starting, you want to sort of make sure it's level really. So we're going to go on now to the next step. So we've leveled out the Halot Mage Pro, but the instruction manual that is supplied with it only has like 1 or 2 pages, and it only talks about how to initially set up the printer in terms of like the leveling. This QR code though is really important. Now you scan that QR code and it gives you some deeper instructions. Now this machine, let's go over some of the basic parameters. So the Halot Mage Pro is a 228 by 128 230, and that's length, width and height. The screen resolution is 7680 by 4320, so we're looking at an 8K resolution. It can go up to 70 mmH per hour. The layer thickness is 0.05 and 0.15 millimeters. It's a 10.3 on the print screen. Light source is a 3rd generation LCD integral light source. For me it's a 240 on the voltage, it's 150 watt on the rated power, and your optimal printing temperatures should be around about 15 to 35 degrees. The overall machine size is 333 by 270 and 608 on the height. The packaging, not too bad in terms of the packaging, well packaged. You're looking at about 15 kilos on delivery. The USB disc, Creality Cloud and Cloud Online and Wi-Fi, so it's got built-in Wi-Fi. The languages that you get is multiple, and you can use all different slicer softwares for this, and the compatible resins of various 405 NMs. So once again, let's get cracking and we'll go on. So we're going to use our instructions and hopefully carry on with this build. So in here we have the build platform, the resin vat, which is on the side here. You have the feed-in module, which is on the left hand side, the overall printer itself. We've got a USB disc, screwdrivers and Allen keys. We've got the power cable, some paper funnels for filtering out, plastic blade, metal blade, release film, so some spare FEP, calibration card, which once again was inside the FEP pack, not sure why they did that. We've got the vent pipe, which we've shown, and so the wire hole cover. Yeah, so we can, I'm guessing it's something to do, well, we'll have a look into the wire hole cover because it really doesn't make sense. So then the grease for the actual motor rail. So so information about the interface. So we can connect up to the cloud, like I say, it has Wi-Fi. Let's go to the next page. So we're going to do a device check. So we've done the leveling, and let's go on to there. So what it's asking us to do now is just to check that the screen's working okay. So what we want to do is go back on the arrow key here, go all the way to the beginning, and it's asking me to click settings. So that's on the right hand side, cleaning. And then it will ask me, please confirm whether you would like to clean. And we're going to click yes. So we can see that the screen is working correctly, as you can see. So there's a countdown on there, so you can change the countdown time on that, so we know that that's okay. So obviously the fan that you can hear is just cooling down the actual screen itself. So the leveling guide, it's now asking me to do the leveling guide, so it's probably a good idea to scan the QR code at the very beginning rather than at the end. So we'll skip that page because we know we've already leveled it. So once again, it's going through how to carry that out. Now we're going to go into sort of the pump itself, the feed system. So in here, on here, we've got three different modes. So we've got in, out, and then stop. So it is an automatic feed, but obviously if you only want to put a small amount of resin in, you can. So you can press in and it will continuously feed. If you want to stop before that it's full, you can click stop and that overrides that. It has an LED, so it tells you what you're doing. So that's just a brief guidance on that. The use of the feed system, so we'll go over to settings, and then print settings, and then on the bottom right hand corner it's feed system, and then it's asking if you want to auto feed, we can manually feed, so you can choose. So basically the choice is yours. And as I said at the beginning, on the right hand side we have the purification system, so we can also check on that. So let's go back to the main screen, click settings, it says print settings, so we need to click on that, and then at the bottom it's the purification system, and in here you've got like different levels of how long it should stay on post or during the print, so you can change that sliding across, so if you want it on for 2 hours after it's finished. So you can click the switch. The time purification is in auto mode, is based on the working state of the device according to the set timer. The working status of the purification module is controlled by switching to the manual mode. So say you can make changes to that, so you can choose automatic or manual. So so as you can hear, the air system is kicked in because we're manually turning it on, but you can turn it off and put it onto auto, and that will come on as and when required and how long you want it on for by sliding this slider along. So I quite like the idea of that, and obviously the hose pipe fits on the back, it just clicks onto the actual hose itself, and you can put that out to one of your air vent systems or straight out the window, whichever is your setup. What else have we got? Let's go on to the next step. So as you all know, this is a super fast printer, so it also has the Dynex mode, so the high speed printing mode. So if we go back to the main screen, click on settings, click on print settings, and on the left hand side bottom you've got print mode. You can see that there's like an arrow as to what level that's been set at. So if you want to click on Dynex mode and click, that's how much faster it is. There's also Dynex Plus, so you click on that, that's at now full speed, so you'll be printing at some considerable speeds for that. So let's put it back again, and we'll go to the main screen. So that's the Dynex part of the setting. Also in the instructions it goes in on how to release the film if you want to replace that. Once again, it comes with a spare, so you want to make sure that you get the right one if you choose not to use it. So now what we're going to do is we're going on to the resin part, so we're going to add resin into the printer. So before I do that, I'm going to close up the lid quickly. As you can see, it's very easy to use. We're just going to turn it round. I want to show you the back of the printer. So here is the vent for the filtration system. You've got a inside fan to keep the motherboard and the screen cool. You've got the on-off switch here and the power cable. You've also got an Ethernet if you choose to go LAN. But like I say, it has got Wi-Fi, and you can use the USB stick, which is what we're going to do today. We're not going to connect up to the Wi-Fi. And then we have the connection hose, which has a little holder at the top. And then using this rubber seal, we can fit this through like so. And then that goes over the top of your resin. So we're going to do that in a minute, and we're going to use the resin feed system. You can tip it in. It's really a matter of choice. It's a bit of a gimmick in my eyes, but you know, if you're doing a large print and it's going to take up the whole of the build plate, and it's also going to go right up to the top, you want to make sure that you've got plenty of resin. You don't want it to run out over a period of time and spoils the actual print itself. So while we're at the back of the machine, let's connect up the resin and use the actual resin feed system. So once again, Creality kindly sent me over some of their fast curing resin, a kilo of that, so it'd be interesting to see how that performs on this, especially at high speed. We are going to use the Dynex version, so we're going to see how that actually fares. You want to give it a bit of a shake, but nothing too sort of rigorous. You don't want air bubbles in there. You want to be making sure you're wearing gloves as well. So with this, it didn't come with gloves. So I'm just going to put some gloves on, and we're going to connect it all up. So as you can see, it's now connected up at the back. So we're going to be turning it round, so we're going to need to be careful we don't knock the bottle over. But what I'll do is off camera, I'll turn it round, and you want to make sure it's all in place. But we're going to use the auto feed system, and we're going to make sure that this is near the bottom, and it's going to take in the liquid for us. So we've got it back in place now. We're going to put the build plate back on. I want to make sure that that's all fitted. Like I say, it's slightly awkward. You want to latch it into place, and you feel that little click. Make sure that your resin feed hose is in the down position, and then connect up both sides. Then what we're going to use is the resin pump. So we're just going to put some resin in. We're not going to put too much in. So right now I'm just going to press the button. As you can see, it's pumping in quite slow. I mean, it would probably be easier to tip it in, to be fair. But while it's in there and we're doing this review, let's use it and see how it pans out. So it should shut off by itself. But in this case, what we're going to do is go up to probably just above the halfway mark and stop it there. And we'll just let this fill up. Okay, so I actually stopped it. I didn't wait for it to finish because I've gone to the 500ml mark, because I kind of feel that that would be appropriate for the amount that I'm going to be printing. So what we're going to do now is have a quick look on the USB on here and maybe start a print. So we're going to connect up the USB, so it doesn't matter which one you use, but I'm going to use the top one, so we're going to slot that in now. So just make sure you put it in the right way around, and then it starts reading it. So we're going to go to the print setting, so we're going to click on print. So these are the files that are on there. As you can see, it's scrolling, which is kind of a bit annoying in terms of like trying to read what the file is. These are all, so you've got Titanic Dynex, you've got Dynex Cardioff file, so it's not really clear what they are. So let's give the Titanic one a print and see how that comes out. So what it does is it imports it into the motherboard. So it's not ready to print. So what you'll need to do is re-verify it. So it's ticked, so it's imported, so you click OK. And then you have to go back to it again. So where is it? So as you can see with the scrolling tick, so now we can click on it and it lets me in. So you can change the parameters, so you can go straight into the print here. It tells me it's using 72 mils of resin and it's going to take 6 hours. and you can click start, and it tells you the thickness is 0.05 and there's 4,185 layers. You can click on the settings and make changes. So what we're going to do is, before we do that, if we go back to that and click on set parameters, we can actually make the changes ourselves. So we can change the exposure time, you can change all of whether you want the purification system on, light delay, etc. But let's go back to the settings page, and we're going to have a look at the Dynex mode. So let's click on the plus and see whether that changes any of the parameter times. So let's go straight to the beginning, print settings again, wait to actually see which one it is, click on that, click on print. So let's go back again and try again. So now it's saying 4 hours and 47 minutes. So we've saved about an hour by having the Dynex mode on. So you can click start and it will start printing. All your settings are in there. So we're going to give that a go, and we'll come back and we'll see how it's fed. So like I say, this is the Creality Halot Mage Pro, kindly sent over by Creality for me to review. I don't tend to do resin printing on my channel, so forgive me if I'm giving a very basic overview. So we've used the auto resin feed. I did stop it myself. It didn't auto stop. I just wanted to give it a go. I didn't have too much issue with connecting up the vat itself like some people did. We've done a manual bed level just in case, and we've gone straight into this. I didn't set it up to the Wi-Fi because I'm going to do that later on. I'm not going to have it as part of this video. And then what we'll do is we'll come back once it's been printed, and we'll see what the print looks like. So thank you for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Thank you to today's channel sponsor, which is PCBWay.com. There's a link in the description. They can do all your PCB board, and to Creality for sending me the printer. It was sent over for me to review, so there is no pay involved. I didn't get paid to do this video. It's merely just to bring to my channel and to promote this Halot Mage Pro. So this is the 8K version, the Pro version. So you've got 2 USB slots on the front. One for your USB stick if you choose, and one for your Wi-Fi cam, or if you want to use time-lapse, you can do that. So we're going to let this print, come back in about 5 hours time, and we'll have a look, see what it looks like, and we'll inspect the print to see what type of quality we got. I'm not sure what it is. It says Titanic, so who knows. Thanks again for watching, and watch the rest of the video. And whilst you're waiting, don't forget to like and subscribe. Okay, so as you can see, the Titanic print has been completed. I've already drained the vat, pretty much the whole of the resin, using the resin in and out pump. It took quite a while, took about 15-20 minutes to fully remove what was left in there. So I'm going to take the print off and then just clean it up, and then we'll put another print on, and we'll come back into the video and we'll check out the next print that's on the USB card. Okay, so over the last few days, since the initial unboxing and setup for the Creality Mage Pro, I've done some extensive testing. I printed everything that was on the USB, so there were some good points and bad points with that. So currently I'm just UV curing some of the slice models from that, so it's just bleeping now, so we'll have a look at those quickly in a minute. You'll hear the fan from this, so that's just the motherboard fan. There's 2 directly under the motherboard, which actually you can see external, so if you need to change them, which is a good idea, it'll be easier to change. I've also removed the resin from the vat itself using the Creality pump on this. Took a long time, and I also found that I had to tip the machine slightly back just to allow the vat to completely drain. There's also a setting on here called cleaning. If you press that, you can change the amount of time that the screen, so basically the whole screen UV lights up, and anything that's in there cures. So what that can do is get rid of any debris. But also, if you removed everything from the vat and you just want to make it slightly easier to remove the rest that's left in there, I suggest using that. Quite a good feature. Overall, the UI, bit clunky to be fair, and they could have worked a little bit better with the UI, but overall it's pretty self-explanatory once you look into the system. The resin and the slice files I actually used with the Dynex Plus, and I'll show you some of the models quickly now. So one of the models was the Titanic. Now, I found that the Titanic was really odd to work with, and there's some really bad scarring, as you can see from the screen. Now, I'm not the greatest with resin printing, and it's not really my forte. I'm more FDM reviews, to be fair. So I may have been quite rough with the actual removal of that. As you can see, there's some really bad scarring. Some of that, though, however, was just like the supports. They were really heavy on this, and I think if they change the orientation, it might, I mean, it printed vertical, so could have potentially maybe gone slightly horizontal with that, and I don't think it would have been so severe. But overall, I mean, not too bad. So let's pull out some of the prints that are just cured. Once again, I'm not into resin printing, so forgive me if there's some support still left on that. So this is one of the slice models. As you can see, there's a few supports still to be pulled off, but I found it was quite fragile. But as you can see, the quality of that is, I mean, it's absolutely stunning. Beautiful print, and these are actually on the files, as you can see, left quite a few supports there. Let's have a look at one of the others. Once again, part of the same slice file, so I think there was about 6 or 7 models in total. But you can see the quality of that is just absolutely amazing. Once again, missed off some support, so don't be too unkind in the comments for the fact that I've missed them. Literally just come off the print a minute ago. Let's have a look at one more. This one here, once again, stunning. Some missed supports, but hopefully I could be able to remove them. But you can see the detail of the barrel and stuff like that. Like I say, not into resin printing myself. Thank you to Creality for sending me the Halot Mage Pro to review, and for the fast curing resin. Overall, my thoughts on this printer, pretty impressive, to be fair. Going to be holding some more tests on this, maybe slice some on my own files, but overall pretty impressed. And that was the Creality Halot Mage Pro. Thank you for watching, and if you don't mind, don't forget to like and subscribe. It helps the channel and it helps me bring more content to you guys. If there's any questions, leave it in the comment section. And thanks again to PCB Wave for sponsoring today's video. So check out the link in my description. And I'm 3DP UK Tech Channel, Phil from 3DP UK. Take care, everyone. That's a Creality Halot Mage Pro.